welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel, the owner and creator here at the Eclectic Cottage in Spokane, Washington. Today is Tuesday, and for today's video I have a little bit of a mixed bag. I have chapter 2 of the tale of the dilapidated dresser, so I'm excited to show you guys the progress I've made on the little dresser that I am restoring, and I actually managed to get it to the point of paint. So I've got one coat of paint on it, so I can't wait to show you. And the second part of the video is going to be a new product reveal, and this product has been sitting on my floor now for about 3 weeks. I really need to get it unboxed and in my computer and out on the floor for sale, and I'm excited to show that to you. It's a new product by DIY Paint, and I think they're pretty awesome, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, and without further ado, let's get to today's video. The first step I needed to complete was replacing the bottom of the drawers. I was honestly a little bit nervous about this step. I was so afraid I was going to break something. And the video I'd watched on YouTube, the gal said to have a rubber mallet, which I did not have handy. So I was using my trusty dusty hammer and just trying to be really gentle with everything and go slow and be easy and not break anything. Luckily, the drawers were pretty easy to take apart. I just tapped with my hammer to get those dovetails to release. And then I had to tap on the bottom to get it, I guess there was some glue to get it to release so that I could take that out. It left a little sliver, but I just hammered sideways to slide it to the left a little, and then it popped out pretty easily. Then it was on to actually replacing the bottoms, and my husband had gone out and gotten me this beautiful birch plywood that is a perfect fit for the bottoms. And so this is me putting them back together again with the help of some Gorilla Wood glue and a whole lot of patience. It seemed like I'd pop one side in and the other one would pop out. And so it definitely took some finagling to get them back together again. But I did manage. I was just trying to be so careful to not break any of those dovetails off. I had 2 of these drawers to do. I did both of the big bottom drawers, and I only am showing you one because I thought it would be a little bit much to do both of them for this video. So just tapping it all back together and then wiping off that excess glue, and then I set it aside to dry. Once it was dry, I sanded off all the excess glue on the outside. I also needed to sand the sides of these drawers a little bit just to get them to ride a little bit smoother in and out. They seem to have, I don't know, expanded with some moisture or something, and just really didn't want to go in and out as well. So it really helped sanding the sides down just a little bit. Then it was on to sanding the fronts of them. The veneer had been all peeled off, but there was still some tackiness from the old glue and just a couple of little raised areas and little divots and stuff that I really wanted to get out. So I spent quite a bit of time sanding on this piece to the point where my arms were so sore the next morning I could hardly lift them above my head. It was awful. So, but I did sand all of the fronts of all of the drawers, and then I kind of went around the rims and just made sure there weren't any splinters or rough patches or anything like that. Once I was finished with this round of sanding, I decided to remove the top of the dresser. Couple reasons. I wanted to try and fix that crack that you can see on this end of the top, and also it had a veneer on the bottom that was really warped and terrible looking, and there was no way I could have glued it back into place. So I'm taking off the top, flipping it over, and my husband showed up just in the nick of time to help me get that old ugly veneer off. Then it was time to try to fix that crack. So this top is tongue and groove. It looks like oak boards that had kind of separated, and so I'm using a screwdriver to actually widen the gap so that I can get the glue down in there, scraped it so that it was nice and level, and then I attached my handy dandy little clamp. And then the end, the two boards had kind of lifted away from each other, so I'm trying to glue that back into place. Then I grabbed this small drawer. It had a little bit of veneer that had peeled away from the top, and so this is me just kind of putting some glue down in there, taking a board and clamping it down to dry. Next, it was time to try to smooth out the back leg. There was a definite crack where we had reattached it. And so I mixed up some Bondo and just went over the cracked areas to smooth them out and make it so that once it's got paint on it, you can't even tell that there was ever any damage. Then it was back to sanding. I took the top outside once the glue was dry and worked on getting it as smooth as possible, getting rid of any glue remnants from the veneer, little pieces of veneer that were still here and there. And then I had to flip it over and really sand the bottom of it because some of the veneer didn't come off quite cleanly, and it took a little bit of elbow grease to get those pieces off as well. Now, even though the glue had helped keep the boards together, there was still a little bit of a visible crack and also cracks on a couple other places. So I mixed up some Durham's water putty and went through and just with my fingers smoothed it into all of the cracks that I could see along the sides and on the top. While the Durham water putty dried, I took the dresser back outside and sanded the bondoed areas nice and smooth. And once I was done, you could not even see that there was a crack in that leg at all. By the time I was done sanding the Bondo, the water putty was pretty much dry. So I brought the top back outside and sanded down any of the excess water putty that you could visibly see to get that top nice and smooth once again. Once that was done and I was happy with how it looked, I took it back inside and went ahead and started the process of reattaching the top. Now for this, I was going to try to use a little handheld screwdriver, and the front screws went in just fine. But when I got to the back, I realized really quickly that I needed my impact drill to get those to seat down really well and to have that top nice and tight. And with that, repair work is finally done. Now it's just a matter of getting it cleaned up and ready for paint. So I grabbed my mister bottle. I had already wiped everything in this dresser down with bleach water. So at this point, I'm just trying to remove the sanding dust. And so I'm just using some clean water and wiping that all back with a shop towel. Now, I had already picked a color for this. This is Juniper. It's one of the new colors by Sweet Pickins Milk Paint. And it's funny because the minute I saw this dresser, I thought of this color. I've been wanting a piece to try this color on for a while now, and I figured this little dresser is the perfect candidate. This is a beautiful color. It's kind of a bluey green. It really does look kind of like a juniper type color, almost like a blue spruce, honestly. And I absolutely love it. It reminds me a little, if you're familiar with the DIY paint line, of Skeleton Key, just a little. So I am just starting the process, very slowly going over this whole piece with one good even coat of the Juniper milk paint. I did add the recommended amount of Extra Bond just because I didn't want any variations in the finish on this. I knew since I was going over raw wood and old finish that if I left out the Extra Bond, I might get crackling in some places and none in others. And I just wanted one nice cohesive finish. Now, my original plan was to stain this top, but unfortunately, with all of the gluing and the water putty, I really didn't know how stain would look, so I went ahead and painted it. Not my original plan, but I think it will still be beautiful. Then I went ahead and gave all of the drawer fronts one good even coat of paint, and that concludes chapter 2 of the story of the dilapidated dresser. product that I was talking about. This is the new line of Painterly Paints by DIY. You can see they are definitely a different color palette than what we're used to with the DIY paints, a little bit brighter, more pronounced color. They're a little bit different in their the making of them. They're more of an artist's paint, and so I'm going to read some information from DIY for these paints really quick, and then I'll show you the colors. So it says they're a unique type of furniture paint, and they can be used on canvas as well. Loose, non-traditional paint designed specifically for furniture, embracing non-traditional approach that sets it apart. The unique artistic style blurs the lines between traditional painting and DIY creativity, resulting in a seamless blend like peanut butter and jelly. Comes in tubes and is known for its heavy-bodied, highly pigmented, and thick consistency, creating brilliant results. Painterly paint is not acrylic, it's not watercolor or oil paint. It is a specific special blend with a heavy texture and high pigment concentration. It is perfect for DIY products and combines exceptionally well with the various furniture surfaces. Painterly paint is made using Japanese pigments and a binder, and it is manufactured in East Asia. It dries with a very matte finish and can be used with any of the finishes from DIY. That includes the crystal clear liquid chandelier patina, any of the other patinas, the big top, or any of the waxes. So it's made specifically to blend with the DIY clay-based paint, and like I said, these are definitely a different color palette, a little stronger of color in these. They're $18.50 a tube, and I will be adding them to my website. So if you're interested in them, if you want to try them out, I will have them up on my web shop within the week. And so I'm just going to go over the colors really quick. This one is called Ghosted. It's a nice lemony yellow. This one is called Glow Up. Very close to highlighter yellow to me. I just a very, very bright yellow. This one is called Old Flame. Hot pinky coral color, just very bright. This one, more of a magenta, called Love Language, very pretty. This one's more my speed as far as pinks go. It's called Poetic Pink, really pretty pink. More of a mauve-y pink. This one's called Confection. This one is pretty. It's called Ultraviolet. I like this color. This one is called Maximalist. Very purple. It's nice because we really don't have a good purple in the DIY paint line, so it's nice that there are a couple good purples in this. This is my favorite one. This is called Peacemaker. To me, this would go really well with Apothecary or Farm Fresh or Mint Chip. Just a really pretty color to go with any of those. This green is called Dreamville. Nice green color. And then two blues. This one is called Skylight. Really pretty blue, kind of a softer color. And then this is more of a dark cobalty color called Extra Electra. So anyway, so that is the new product that I've been talking about, and I'm excited to get these uploaded on my website and out on my shelf here at the cottage. So if you're in the area, stop by. I am definitely going to be grabbing a couple of these colors and using them on a future project. I have a couple ideas in my head of what I want to do with them, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, thank you again for joining me for today's video. So what did you guys think of my progress with the dilapidated dresser? She definitely does not look so dilapidated anymore. Really happy with how it's coming together. The only thing is I did forget that there's a mirror that goes with her. So that's in the back of my car. And it's probably going to slow me down just a little bit on getting it finished. And honestly, for Friday's video, I am going to switch gears completely. And I really want to get back to working on some smaller projects. I've got that piano bench I just brought home that I really like to get finished. So I have a feeling that's going to be what will be for Friday's video. So stay tuned for that. And then what did you guys think of the painterly paints? Aren't those exciting? They're so pretty. I am normally more of a neutral, soft color kind of girl, but I'm excited to use a few of them just to test them out. And I've got a few ideas roaming around in my head of what I'd like to try them on. So I'm sure that'll be in a future video too. So just stay tuned. It'll be down the road a little ways. And I hope you liked today's video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. I so appreciate that. If you haven't already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and then just hit the little notification bell. And that way you can follow along with all the little craziness that goes on here in my cottage. And also comment below and let me know what you think of the dresser progress, what you thought of the painterly paints. I'd love to hear your opinions. And if you had a favorite color in all the colors that I showed you, let me know. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. I hope you'll join me back here on Friday for that video. And until then, thank you so much for being here. Bye.